The Coffee Shop Reunion. The afternoon sun streamed through the tall windows of the airport coffee shop, painting everything in shades of amber and gold. Sarah Mitchell sat at a corner table, her worn canvas bag resting against the chair leg. She stirred her coffee slowly, watching the cream swirl into soft clouds. Her daughter Emma, just 7 years old, was flying back from visiting Sarah's parents. The plane would land in 30 minutes. Sarah took a deep breath and let it out slowly. These quiet moments alone had become precious. Between her 2 jobs, morning shifts at the diner and evening hours at the grocery store, peaceful minutes were rare treasures. She worked hard to give Emma everything she needed, but some months the bills piled up faster than she could pay them. The coffee shop hummed with the gentle sounds of travelers. Suitcase wheels rolled across tiles. Conversations mixed together into a soft murmur. Sarah closed her eyes for just a moment, letting the warmth of the cup seep into her hands. When she opened them again, she saw him. He stood near the counter, tall and composed, speaking quietly to someone on his phone. His dark hair was styled differently now, shorter and more refined. He wore an expensive white shirt with the sleeves rolled up, revealing a watch that probably cost more than Sarah's monthly rent. A leather bag sat beside his polished shoes, but it was his face that made Sarah's heart skip. That same thoughtful expression. Those same dark eyes that used to look at her across library tables when they were both 19. Daniel Carter. Her first love. Her only love, really, before life had pulled them in different directions. Sarah's hand trembled slightly as she set down her coffee cup. 12 years. It had been 12 years since she'd last seen him. They'd been college students then, full of dreams and promises. He'd wanted to build something meaningful. She'd wanted to teach children. They'd planned a future together during late-night conversations and weekend walks through the city. Then, Sarah's father had fallen ill. She'd left college to help her mother, moving back to her hometown 3 states away. Daniel had stayed to finish his degree. They'd tried to make it work long distance, but the miles had stretched their connection thin. Eventually, the calls had grown shorter, the texts less frequent. Life had simply carried them apart. Sarah had met Mark 2 years later. They'd married quickly, had Emma even quicker. By the time Emma turned 2, Mark was gone, leaving behind only divorce papers and empty promises of child support that never came. Now Daniel stood just 20 feet away, and Sarah didn't know whether to hide or say hello. The decision was made for her. Daniel ended his call, slipped his phone into his pocket, and turned toward the seating area. His eyes swept across the room and landed directly on her. For a heartbeat, neither of them moved. Recognition flickered across his face, followed by something Sarah couldn't quite name. Surprise, pleasure, uncertainty. Then he smiled, and it was the same smile she remembered from a dozen years ago. Sarah? His voice was deeper now, but familiar, like a song she'd once known by heart. Hi, Daniel. She managed to keep her voice steady. He walked over, and she noticed other people glancing at him as he passed. He carried himself differently now, with the quiet confidence of someone who'd achieved what he'd set out to do. May I? He gestured to the empty chair across from her. Of course. He sat down, setting his bag aside carefully. For a moment, they just looked at each other, bridging 12 years with silence. You look well, he said finally. So do you. Sarah tried not to think about her faded jeans and second-hand sweater. Are you traveling for work? Heading back home, actually. I had meetings in Chicago. He paused. What about you? Picking up my daughter. She's been visiting my parents. You have a daughter. Something shifted in his expression. That's wonderful, Sarah. Her name is Emma. She's 7. Sarah wrapped both hands around her coffee cup. What about you? Married? Kids? No, neither. Daniel leaned back slightly. I've been focused on work. Maybe too focused. An awkward pause settled between them. Sarah searched for something to say that wouldn't reveal how different their paths had been. I heard you started a company, she said, remembering a mutual friend's social media post from years ago. Something with technology. Daniel nodded. Software development. We create programs for hospitals and clinics. It's grown bigger than I expected. That's amazing. You always wanted to build something that helped people. I remembered. He looked down at the table. I remembered a lot of things. Sarah's throat tightened. She wondered what else he remembered. Those promises they'd made. Those plans they'd drawn up like maps to a future that never came. Sarah, Daniel started, then stopped. He seemed to be choosing his words carefully. I've thought about you over the years. Wondered how you were doing. I almost reached out a few times, but I didn't know if you'd want to hear from me. I wondered about you too, Sarah admitted quietly. I'm sorry, he said suddenly, for not trying harder, for letting us just fade away. We were young. Life happened. Sarah tried to smile. We both did what we needed to do. Maybe. Daniel pulled out his phone, then hesitated. Can I ask you something? And please be honest. If this is too forward, just say so. Sarah's heart beat faster. Okay, I'm in town for the next few days. Would you let me take you and Emma to dinner? Just as old friends. I'd like to meet her. And I'd like to catch up properly, not in an airport coffee shop. Sarah opened her mouth, then closed it. 1,000 thoughts raced through her mind. What would be the point? Their lives were completely different now. He was a successful CEO. She could barely afford Emma's school supplies. But then she thought about the man sitting across from her, the one who used to share his lunch with her when she'd forgotten hers, who'd stayed up all night helping her study for exams, who'd looked at her like she was the most important person in the world. I'd like that, she said. Emma would too. She loves meeting new people. Daniel's whole face brightened. Really? Really? He pulled out a business card and wrote something on the back. Here's my personal number. Text me when you're free, and we'll figure out a time. Sarah took the card, running her thumb over the embossed letters. Daniel Carter, CEO, Meditech Solutions. I will, she promised. The airport intercom crackled to life, announcing Emma's flight arrival. That's her plane, Sarah said, standing up. Daniel stood too. Sarah, he said as she gathered her bag. I mean it. I really want to see you again. She looked up at him, at this man who was somehow both a stranger and someone she'd once known better than anyone. So do I. As Sarah walked toward the arrival gates, she felt something she hadn't felt in years. Not hope exactly, but something close to it. A sense that maybe, just maybe, life had more surprises in store. Good ones this time. Behind her, Daniel watched her go, the smallest smile playing at his lips, his hand already reaching for his phone to clear his schedule for the week. Some stories, it seemed, weren't finished after all. They just took longer to unfold.